Hello and welcome to another recap video on Just and Low stocks. So today I'm going to be going over my Friday night's trades. It was a real good day. I only ended up trading under 3 minutes and ended up closing up $175 on the day, up 450 on the week. So it was a very good week trading for me. The most consistent week I've had in a while. Green all week, just taking singles every day. ends up a decent amount by the end of the week. So I was happy with that. My first trade was on SLS, like right out of the gates. So I was looking for a long over these, if it broke these resistance points at around the 650 area. One, it's a $0.50, which is again psychological value, and it had acted as a resistance level previously back in May and April. So I was looking for a break over that, and if it broke over that, I was going to go long, and that's what I did. And I was originally aiming for around this green trend line, which is the 200-day moving average, and it also happens to line up with these support points back here, which are now resistance. So it acted as support here, resistance around here. So that was my original target, but it ended up acting weak, sort of out of the open, so I sold it pretty quick, but it still ended up being a nice profit. So I actually bought it straight away at 9:30 because it was showing this U-shape breakout trend. So this area here, I drew these trend lines during pre-market. 645 was acting as a resistance initially, but then it broke it, and then it acted as support down here. And then I was just basically looking for a break of around this sort of area, around here and up here, but it was moving real quick. And as I saw it doing its second U-shape, so yeah, it topped here and then it was coming down for another U-shape, and I was expecting it to break out of this point over 670 and then sort of hit those targets I was talking to you about just a minute ago. So I bought in right away at 9:30 as soon as the market opened. Bought at 656. It dipped down straight away, but I held on to it. I was going to sell if it cracked these levels, which it did, but I can't explain how quick it did. It dipped below and then it shot straight back up, so I didn't even get a chance to sell. And then it broke out of the point I was aiming for, and then I sold it into it was doing a really big 1 minute candle, and I didn't want to risk it. It was that one candle ranged 50 cents, so it ranged a big percentage, ranged by 7%. So I sold it into strength as it was shooting above this previous resistance level and it was breaking new highs. So I sold into the 686 area, and that ended up being 4.4%, and it was legit. Just looked at the my trading journal for Friday, and it was a 9-second trade, so 4.4% in 9 seconds. So it was a good trade to start the day with. And then my next few trades are on BKTX. So I'll show you the daily candle first on this. Previously in the week, I spoke to you about this on Thursday, because I traded this on Thursday. I was talking about this breakout level of the $7, and I don't know if you remember, but I said how it closed really strong near its highs on the Thursday, that you'd be looking for a continuation play on the Friday. And it did break that 1050 area, which was the previous day's highs, or Thursday's highs, but it didn't show as much strength as I was anticipating. I was expecting it to be another massive green candle like that, but it ended up turning around and giving back all its gains, but I still managed to profit on the few minutes where it did go up in the morning. So I'll take you back to the market open and pre-market. So the previous day's high was here at 1050. That was the area I marked out, expecting if it broke over this to hold it as support and possibly make massive highs. It broke it pre-market, and then it held this 1050, which is the previous day's high. It held that as support. As you can see, it bounced here, bounced here, bounced here, and bounced here. Bounced 4 times, so that acted as a very strong support. And then this 1085, it had rebounded that off 4 times, so that was acting as a pretty strong resistance. So basically, if it broke this 1085, I was looking to go long, and if it broke under this 1050, I was looking to go short. Unfortunately, there were no shorts available after it, it broke down here, so I couldn't go short, but I managed to go long here when it broke over the 1085. So I think it was legit just after that SLS trade. As soon as I did that in the 9 seconds, I flicked over to this stock at perfect timing as it was breaking over this 1085, and I bought here at 1093, this first this arrow there that I'm covering over with the mouse, and then in that same 1 minute candle I sold it at 1104. I think it was 1% profit, something like that. Yep, 1% profit in, again, I think it was 10 seconds or something like that. And then because it had done a big 1 minute candle, we were always expecting a pullback, which it did. Pulled back down to this arrow, which is 1095, and I bought it there, expecting it to then turn around, make a U shape again and go up and break this previous high. Didn't do that, but I bought there and it dipped below this 1085, which should have acted as a strong support, as it had just broken out and it was once resistance. Now it should be support, but it broke under that straight away, and I wasn't going to hold on to it because as you can see, it's got the potential to fall real quick. So I covered my position there at 1088. So that was a small loss, that one. But then within that same minute candle, so it's very confusing because the stock moves so quick, but in that same minute candle, just after I sold it, it came below here, and then it started heading back up again, and then I ended up buying again at this 1094 point, and then I sold it as it shot up to the 1111 point. So I bought here, sold here, then it dipped back down. I bought where this candle, this arrow is, sold there for a small loss, and then it was just coming up in that same minute candle. I bought at that point again, and then sold into strength at 1111, just because it was in the level 2, which is where you can see how many buyers and sellers there are. There are a lot of sellers piling into this stock around this resistance level. So if it broke out of that, it would have been a good breakout, but there was just too many sellers to be able to break out of that point. I was lucky I got out there at 1111, because then it fell, so it gave back, in the first half an hour it gave back 15%. So yeah, it was lucky I didn't get trapped in that, and I did all my trading in the first 3 minutes when it showed a little bit of strength. So it was a real good day, like I said, $175 in under 3 minutes. So it was a great day, finished a great week up, and I was green on the week. So hopefully I can carry this momentum into next week and have a good strong week again next week, and keep the consistency going, because that's what it is ultimately with trading. You need to remain consistent. Any profit, even if it's small, as long as it's consistent, you'll be profitable. So that's the goal for next week. Hope you're starting to try to paper trade, or starting to look at more charts and understand how trading works. Again, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to leave it in the comments, and like and subscribe to my channel if you are enjoying the content. And I'll put out another video for you probably Tuesday after Monday's stock trading. Alright, so have a good rest of the weekend, and I'll talk to you then. See you later.